Mano Balaya, Badrasato Denoba, Titan Deto Membawa, Sutu Kayo Membawa, Sutu Kayo Memba. Anorado Membawa, Sarva Sedeme Prayada, Sarva Kuma Sudame, Tadine Shreya, Kuru Hung, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan. Sarva Tata Gata Badrama Memanda, Banzembawa Ma, Samaya Satua, Om Badrasato Samaya, Manu Palaya, Badrasato Tenoba. Jisrata Membawa, Sutu Kayo Membawa, Sutu Kayo Membawa, Anurato Membawa, Sarva Sita Meprayata. Sarva Karma Sudame, Zedna Shreya, Guru Hung, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagavan. Sarva Tatanga Dharma Dharma Memandam Banzembawa Mahazamai Sato Om Badra Sato Samaya Manu Palaya Badra Sato Tenoba Tishtandeto Membawa Sudo Kayo Membawa Subo Kayo Membawa Anorato Membawa Sarva Sita Meprayata Sarva Karma Suzame Chetana Shreya Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatangata Badrama Memunda Bandem Bawa Ma Samaya Sadhu. Okay, please take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Once more, please inhale fully and exhale. Once more, please inhale fully and exhale. Yeah, occasionally it's good to take a deep breath, inhale, then you see, in your life. And all the stress let go out and just relax, refresh yourself. Off and on is always good, Sometimes you don't know how much you are stressed. And then it's not so good for your health as well, When you occasionally just inhale fully and exhale, relax, take a few moments. And in case if you're outside, look at the sky, make your mind like a nature of the space, reflect and appreciate and rejoice your life. It's usually it's good, Now, so far, I have very briefly related general way how Buddha taught the teachings, which usually I do. How to appreciate Buddha's teaching, not from the kind of like a one of the religion's point of view, but it's from the point of view of reality. And then especially, as I mentioned, the mind, as we know, how to purify our mind and how we are confused in the samsara is not just from the point of belief system, not from the view of the some religious, but from the universal point of view. All the different people in the world have this kind of mental afflictions. Some are more gross than others. Some are more destructive than others. But overall, you see there are the confusion of the mind. cycles in the state of the samsara. Day after day, life after life, we just know how we are confused and how we suffer within that. So look at this, and then we just reflect on Dharma teachings, how Buddha taught. It's called Buddha Dharma. Now with this, now here comes specific practice of the Lord Jigten Sumgön, very short. So in Tibetan, what we have Dorje Changwan Jigten Sumgön Shap means in Shap Topje Minjik Mandi Dela Shuk. This one. Dorje Chang is Vajradhara. Dorje Chang Wang is Vajradhara. And Jigten Sumgön is Lord Jigten Sumgön. Then Topju Minjik Topju is 10 strength, 10 power, 10 strength. Minjik is the 4 fearlessnesses. Topju Minjik Mante is 18 unmixed dharmas. Dela Shuk now sits on these seats. So here sit on the seat means he is the embodiment of the 10 strength and 4 fearlessnesses and 18 unmixed. It's not just like sitting on the seat, but it's embodiment of these qualities. So as earlier I mentioned, Lord Jigten Sumgön actually historically achieved the Buddhahood. Not something, say, maybe he was born as a Buddha, but he became Buddha in that very life. He worked so hard. Went to retreat for as much as 7 years. With the very pure, very poor conditions. Barely enough food to eat. And no clothes, no medicines. Even one time he was very sick, but there's no medicine. There's no one who can offer him medicine. There's no one who's coming to see him. He said, are you sick? Would you like it? Some medicine. Doesn't have this kind of condition, just by himself. And there's one old lady who provided the food to eat, just barely sustain his life. Not some very rich food. So with these conditions, for 7 years, then he walked and attained the Buddhahood. So then he said, now I achieved the Buddhahood. Like our historical Buddha Shakyamuni as well. He went to 6 years under the hardship. Very ascetic life, like Jigten Sumgön went that also. Like Milarepa, all our lineage masters went through this kind of practicing. It means purifying the mind. It's not just not eating food or not wearing clothes. To purify. When we are everything is good, we don't realize how much limitation we have. We realize when there's something missing, then how you missed it. Then I don't have this. Oh no, so I can't sustain, I can't live with this, without these things, So there tested that way, without any possessions, and perfectly achieved enlightenment. So it's called Buddhahood. So Buddha has this 10 power. Let's see, from the first power is called knowing, and knowing what it is and what it is not. Top is called. All these are listed. If you have this booklet, behind it's listed, you see. The stand of knowing places and non-places, he's saying, means if we plant the rice, rice will grow. No barley, no wheat. You see, if we plant the barley, barley will grow. No rice, no wheat. Same way, if we have negative emotions, that will bring suffering, no happiness. No. If we have positive thoughts, bodhicitta, that will bring happiness, no suffering. So knowing that exactly, only Buddha can tell. Now this refer to, like, say, I have to share some of this relation to the Milarepa's life story. No, actually yesterday was Milarepa's anniversary, So what Milarepa, when Milarepa attended Buddhahood, when he was in the 80s, like 84, 85 years old, and some of his senior students, they have a very hard time to relate to the Milarepa's life, how Milarepa went through, So one of his disciples, called Dhammakaya, he said, when we look at you, say Milarepa, look at you, you went through such a great hardship, and now you are Buddha. You achieved the Dharmakaya. He said, you must be rebirth of Buddha or Bodhisattvas. So I can't imagine, ordinary people can do as you did. So please tell us what kind of reincarnation you are, or reincarnated Lama you are. Milarepa said, well, you see me as a Buddha, that's wonderful. You have a pure kind of devotion. But from the Dharma point of view, he said this is a wrong view, because you don't have the wisdom to understand the power of the Dharma. How Dharma can help you. He said, it is easier to understand emptiness. You can investigate this, that through many analogy. You can prove everything is within in the emptiness. But it is very hard to understand the very fine and detailed nature of the causality, karma. See? Because the very fine causality, the cause, that only Buddha's wisdom can tell you. We can understand roughly, but all the details of the karma, very difficult. Milarepa said, even I before understood about the emptiness, but he said, I was convinced about the nature of the causality, infallible nature of the causality. Because of that, I was totally devoted in the Dharma practice. And I saw the samsara so vividly, precisely. So because of this, seeing the samsara directly, without fabrication, without contrivance, I saw the nature of samsara directly. So I was fully convinced to Dharma practice. There's no alternative. So because of that, I practiced successfully and achieved what I want, that what I have now. He said, if everybody are convinced where I was, everybody will achieve Buddhahood in their single lifetime. But they are not. Because we fail to see the causality, the fine details of causality. So this is very important, the message what Milarepa said. We jump on the conclusion of the emptiness. Then somehow we say, within the emptiness, nothing exists. No virtue, no non-virtue. And you do what you like. Then we become wild and make more mess, more suffering. But if we are convinced of causality, there's no space. See, there's no space to make mess because we individually are the responsible. And we should take the responsibility and practice the Dharma. So that's what Milarepa's message. And same thing Lord Jigten Sungkun. Jigten Sungkun said, there are some teachers who will tell you, oh, in this high view, there's no virtue, no non-virtue, Of course, from the viewpoint of itself, the nature of the virtue is emptiness. The nature of the non-virtue is emptiness. But virtue and non-virtue cannot transcend their causality. See? Because their nature is emptiness. So we have to reflect on this. Everything manifests within the emptiness, dissolve into emptiness, and there's no separation. So that's this first strength, Buddha, is knowing all the details of the causes and conditions. The virtue, non-virtue, as I mentioned, this is not a religious belief, this is not a Buddhist belief, or this is not a Buddha's creation. This is something universally constituted. Whole phenomena are constituted within the framework of the causality. When the mind is confused, from that confusion, all the karma, virtuous karma, non-virtuous karma we created, that result manifests within the 6 realms. And all this causality that we created, nirvana, Sharavaka, Pratyeka Buddha, and Bodhisattva, Buddhahood, is the result of the causality, the cause that we have created. It's not a Buddhist belief, or it is not a Buddhism. It is universally constituted reality, nature. So make this now, understand this, That's what Buddha taught. So that's what exactly Lord Chaitanya Sungam teachings is about. So all the rest are the same thing, knowing all, because as mentioned, the mind is unfathomable, very difficult to penetrate by our confused mind. Even we don't know our own mind, how we can judge others' mind. So because of that, there's a lot of misjudges. So that's why we sit by ourselves, meditate. And that's why it's so kind of advised, kind of going to retreat these practices, see. So the 10 strengths, 4 fearlessnesses. No, 4 fearlessnesses is there. No fear of proclaiming for himself. All that is to be discarded has been discarded. Means all the obscurations that need to be discarded or purified. Buddha has no fear to say this. No. Nobody can come to argue with the Buddha, say you have not purified these obscurations. See? So Buddha said, I purified all obscurations without exception. So Buddha has no fear to proclaim that. When Buddha said, I know everything, there's nobody can come to Buddha, you don't know this. You see. Buddha said, I know from the beginningless to the endless to endless, and to all the 10 directions. There's no any single things is existed which I don't know. So Buddha has no fear to proclaim that. See. And Buddha has no fear said, this is the cause of suffering. Nobody can say this is not the cause of suffering. It's amazing, isn't it? See, at that time, said this is the cause for peace and happiness. Nobody can say this is not cause for peace and happiness. It talked 2,600 years ago, still is so fresh. So that's what Lord Chaitanya Sungham's message to us. No. He has these abilities because he attained the Buddhahood. So there's then 18 unmixed Dharma wood. So that's this of Dharmakaya's quality. Okay. Dharmakaya's quality, when you say Dharmakaya, emptiness is within the emptiness. All these qualities are endowed without separation. That's called luminosity. Sometimes you hear Mahamudra, emptiness, luminosity. Or sometimes when in the Heart Sutra, in the Rajgir, Vulture Peak, Buddha was meditating in the luminosity. Luminosity, luminous state is all the profundity of the excellent qualities without separation of emptiness. So Dharmakaya. Then it's a measure and manner marks of love, compassion, and bodhicitta. This is the Sabokakaya, Nirmanakaya. There are 32 measure marks and 80 manner marks. It's attributes of physical perfection. Like say, like on the crown to top, there's a Ushanisha, No, it's just a perfection of bodhicitta. No, so all his body. So a lot of those body examples is like there's an animal, you see. Saying his eyes are like a cow's eye. His shoulder is like a lion shoulder. So that's what that means. Every sentient being has Buddha nature. See? So this excellent Buddha's perfection of the body, a lot of these examples from the animals that show sentient beings are the nature of the Buddha. Like the desire to free from suffering, every individual, because of Buddha nature, is nature of the free from suffering. So nobody desires suffering. We all desire peace and happiness because Buddha nature is nature of peace. No? And no matter how much you have peace and happiness, you're never satisfied. We want more happiness, because we have not achieved Buddhahood. See? And no matter how much we suffer, we never get used to the suffering. See? Because suffering is not the nature of the sentient beings. So no matter how much suffering we have, we always wanted to free from suffering. So Buddha has that mentally, the 32, they call Dharmakaya quality, and then 32 major marks, 80 marks, that love, compassion, bodhicitta. Buddha is embodiment of loving kindness, compassion, and perfection of the bodhicitta. As you see, Buddha's mind is unbiased. As earlier mentioned, Lord Jigten Sungun, anybody who comes to him, he always cares. Even most stupid person comes, he never neglect them. Always care everybody. So likewise Buddha. Even who comes to challenge Buddha, Buddha never say anything you are wrong, or you are say forget it, get rid of. Always care what they want. Give answer what they want. So that's how Buddha can benefit sentient beings. Like we are so limited. After some time we say, it's enough, get out of here. Buddha never say enough is enough. Buddha will say enough when you practice Dharma, and enough when you're free from suffering. Then you see, there's bodhicitta radiating the rays of light, the compassion, loving kindness, bodhicitta, the light rays to all the sentient beings. Now, this also we have to understand. Everything's interdependent. Buddha alone is not enough. Sentient beings' responsibility is required, is needed. Buddha's made a condition, space for everybody. Now, sentient beings need to come to that condition, meet that condition, come to that space. See, for that you see non-conceptual enlightened activities reaching all migrators equally. Yeah, Lord Chitosung, when you read his life story, say from here, from this world, he went to the Eastern Buddha field, Akyobia's Buddha field. They're saying that, but in reality, Lord Chitosung was everywhere. Because before he passed away, he took parinirvana, his disciple, Sherab Jungne, asked Chikten Sungpun, so when you leave this world, where you will be, please tell us so that we can pray, we can meditate. He asked this question 3 times. And Lord Chikten Sungpun said, I'm going nowhere. I'm always with you. Those who meditate, practice Mahamudra, he said, I'm there with you. Because he realized inseparable nature of the samsara and nirvana, you see. The samsara itself is nothing but nirvana. There's no special place to go. Look at our own mind. You see, in your house, when you feel relaxed, like a family, when your wife, when your husband, when your children, they are behaving well. They are doing all things that what you wanted. And your mind is totally also based on love and compassion. You feel so good. There's nothing to complain. Everything is just fine. I'm in the relative state. Even without Dharma, you don't need to go anywhere. No need to go vacation. That itself is so delightful. It's your own mind. And occasionally, your children are not behaving well, and your mind is in the wrong place, and you're so agitated, distracted, and then you suffer. There you feeling so destructive. You're so destructive. That's the samsara. So in your own place, where you are, exactly this happens. So through the Dharma practice, you just realize everything is nothing but in that nature. So because that, when Lord Chitosung purified all these obscurations, all the dualistic obscurations are fully purified, that itself is nirvana. So that's why his wisdom, his compassion continues until the end of samsara. So that's why he said, I have no place to go. This is where I belong to. You can pray, practice with me. I'm there with you. So this is a description of his quality. At the same time, you visualize him in the front, above in the space. Since this is very very concise, so there's no detail about the throne, what this look like, so that you can look at the picture, And then you can see it's insubstantial, like a rainbow, not something substantial. And nature of the wisdom, nature of bodhicitta, the perfection of bodhicitta, sits on the moon disk, which is on the sun disk, that is on the lotus. So you no need to look at the lion thrones, all these sophisticated. Just first look at the lotus color, lotus flower. On the lotus flower, full sun disk, and then moon disk. What that shows is a moon disk is the perfection of both compassion or relative bodhicitta. Santis is the ultimate bodhicitta, the perfection of ultimate bodhicitta. That is based on the lotus is the purification. Purify all the obscurations so that you just look at him on that, gazing towards you and to all the sentient beings. So with this, then mantra here, we have a short, very short mantra. Om Aranashiri Sarva Siddhi Hung. Ranashiri is his name, what Buddha prophesies in this name. And Sarva means all. All means Mahamudra and all the activities, qualities, excellent qualities. Siddhi, achievement. May I and all sentient beings achieve all your excellent qualities, or means quality of the Buddha. May we all achieve the quality of the Buddha, Buddha's Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. When you chant this mantra, then from Lord Jigten Sungkun, light radiate from the body, from the front, back, right, left, top, to all the sentient beings, the 6 realms. And that is the light of wisdom, compassion. Purify all obscurations, suffering, cause of suffering of sentient beings. Heal the mind of sentient beings. And that's the practice of your bodhicitta. You are exercising your bodhicitta through this method. Because you look at the suffering of the sentient beings who are suffering so much, immense, and that to all the sentient beings, that light reach, and you feel such a great joy, happy. I'm so happy. Now sentient beings, their suffering is purified. They are breathing peace and happiness, and including to yourself as well. Your body, speech, mind purified, which will come next, but here as well. So this is, when you chant mantra, it's a way how to establish the visualization. It's good to know to scatter your mind. Just focus on this. Doesn't matter what mantra, how much you can count, 100, 200, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just chant the mantra and meditate that. And you meditate all sentient beings are fully purified, transformed, and they're enjoying the quality of the enlightenment. And you rejoice that. So this is the visualization, meditation, and then chanting mantra. See, meditation. Now next is a brief what Lord Jigten Sungkul is about. Said, you are the Buddhas, Nakakula Paradipa, and Devamkara of the past. In Tibetan, what we have, so this very short account is in the life story that I have translated. Meaningful to behold. If you read that, this is very short. There's some more others details. Anyway, countless eons ago, there was called Buddha Nakakula Paradipa. So Jigten Sungkul said, I was that Buddha. No. And when the Nakakula Paradipa became Buddha, he was a universal king. So the king has many sons. So the youngest son was Khenchen. That time, Garchudingpa was Jigten Sungkul's one of the top disciples. So Jigten Sungkul pointed him, you were the son of that king. And I was now Buddha, this Buddha Nakakula Paradipa, and now I'm this body here. So this is how Jigten Sungkul have that kind of clear, understanding. Nothing is hidden, see. And then the past Buddha, Devamkara, was also Jigten Sungkul. Then in Tibetan it's a Mao Chamba Tata Shakya Tup. The Maitreya of the future, you see, next Buddha, the fifth Buddha Maitreya, is also Jigten Sungkul. And our historical Buddha Shakyamuni is the Jigten Sungkul. You see, Shakyamuni of the present. And so then Ludup Ladu, Nyame Rinpoche Pel in Tibetan. Ludup is Nagarjuna. Ladu reincarnated. So reincarnation Nagarjuna. So you are the Rinpoche Pel, Ranashiri. No? Jigten Sungkul shall also. So I supplicate Lord Jigten Sungkul. You are these Buddhas, teachers. So you repeat these prayers many times. So precious, you see. Just to understand about this, it just cuts all our doubt, fears. So just as earlier mentioned, Lord Jigten Sungkul gathered 180,000 disciples who in the history got that kind of many disciples. See, and many of them attained Buddhahood. And rest of them from the first Bhumi to the 10th Bhumi, established all these disciples. How could anybody do this if he was not Buddha? No, just imagine that. So this is just, you can say this prayer here just mentioned 3 times, but you can recite many times, chant with the melody or anything, you just chant in Tibetan, in English, you just chant this. After chanting this, there's some strong devotion, chanting the mantra, and saying these prayers, supplications, and then some devotion will rise in your mind. And that devotion becomes the connection to receive the blessings of Jigten Sungkun. Then next is the receiving the empowerment. So this is a Vajrayana system, but it's very effective method. We get all the opportunity to purify all our obscurations. As I mentioned, when we study, practice Dharma means we have to purify all our mental afflictions. See, without exception, our suffering that we face in the life is because of mental afflictions. So in the Vajrayana, that's why the Vajrayana is very skillful, quick part. Skillful, we individually have to have ability to digest that skill. So that here we have Lame Kusung Tule Yusur Tu Dagi Nishir Timbe Dipshi Chang Dipshi Tak Wangshi Leto Kushu Sabil Dun Lama Rangtim Rangsim Sedong Ngang. You see. Now practice here. So now Lord Jigten Sungkun is in front of you in the space, like a rainbow, natural wisdom, compassion. From these light rays emanate from the Lama's body, speech, and mind, dissolve into my 4 places. Thereby purifying the 4 obscurations, bestowing the 4 empowerments, and planting the seed of the 4 kayas. So first he's up to here, you see. You just relax. Mind is like the mountain, unmoving, not distracted, in front of the Lama. Then from the forehead of Lord Jigten Sungkun, white light, like just from the sky, pure sky, green, and it's blue sky, like the moon, bright, or snow, should I say, snow color, white light emerge. Now that white light is the natural for all the Buddha's wisdom body that dissolve at your forehead and pervade your entire body. That time you meditate, all the physical obscurations, the negative karma we created from the body are fully purified. So now this we have to imagine, we have to meditate. So our body becomes like a rainbow body. That right now our body is bone, flesh, all this, stuff that we have is all purified, like a rainbow body. Meditate on this. And then our body transforms into whatever you like, Tara, Chenresi, or Jigten Sungkun, or any items you have, you transform into that body. Then meditate on that. It's called vase, the first empowerment, called the vase empowerment. And plant the seed to achieve the Dharmakaya. From the 4 kaya, the first kaya, Dharmakaya. You just relax the mind. Then from Jigten Sumpun's throat, red light, a very pristine red light, the nature of all the Buddha's wisdom speech emerged, dissolved at your throat. All the throat obscurations purified, and that light pervades your entire body. So during this time, you meditate. All the obscurations related to the speech are fully purified. And you will see everything, all the sound, as an echo. There's no special place. All the sounds manifested through many causes and conditions. Like if you use the bell, so through the bell it produces the sound, but it's not from one instant. Through many combinations, the sound is produced. So it is an echo. So you look, you just see, and all the sounds, good or bad, everything is just an echo. No substance. So body purified. Then that plan to achieve the Dharmakaya. And the empowerment is called second empowerment. This is called secret empowerment. Then from Jigten Sumpun's heart level, the blue light, now this time, such pure blue color. Like look at the sky. When the sky is free from all the dust, such a profound type of blue. That kind of light manifests, dissolved at your heart. All our mental afflictions are purified. Meditate that time. Our ignorance, attachment, aversion, all the delusions are fully purified. Meditate. Your mind is total like nature of the space, no boundary. You just see everything as just a manifestation, just a reflection. All mental obscurations, delusions, totally purified. When it's all purified, that's called Dharmakaya. So the third empowerment is called wisdom empowerment. You plan to achieve the Dharmakaya, realizing everything is as emptiness. Like this, the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. Form is no other than emptiness, and emptiness is no other than form. Just look at this, meditate. This time, all the obscurations that were physically, mentally, verbally, all are purified. Meditate this. Just relax. If you have time, do this practice slowly, step by step. You just digest each without distraction. Then from the navel of Jigten Sumpun, molten color radiate and dissolve at your navel. All the subtle obscurations, relation with the body, speech, mind, the dualistic obscurations are fully purified. See, all this, even empowerment, it goes step, you see, body, speech, mind, then all. You see, step by step we go, purify all this. Then totally you realize everything is nothing but as an rainbow. all this duality of the body, speech, mind are also dissolved. No separation. And after that, Jikta Sunggu, the lotus seed all together, melt into light. That light is dissolved into you, pervades your entire body, speech, mind. So here we have the Lama then dissolved into myself. My mind is natural luminosity, emptiness. See, now your mind, all the obscurations, totally purified, like nature of the space. So look at the space, just as an example. You cannot say, there's a space that I can see, but you cannot say space not there. So that space is inexpressible. Likewise, your mind, inseparable of luminous and emptiness. You just meditate, dissolve all your body, speech, mind, dissolve into emptiness. Means all the obscurations. It's not just body, speech, mind dissolve in emptiness, but all your obscurations. See, this is very important. Our focus is on mental obscurations. See, obscuration of the attachment, aversion, grasping, I. These things are dissolved into emptiness. See. Then you say, then you meditate in that. See. Sometimes we meditate, body, speech, mind dissolve into emptiness, but still we are grasping, Still we have attachment, aversion, So, see, very tricky mind is. So since mind is so tricky, we have to have our skill how to handle, you see. Not the body, speech, mind dissolve into emptiness, but our confusion, grasping, I, me, is so strong, so ingrained within us. So these are just purified. So meditate on there. We need this meditation repeatedly. So if you have time, you can stay there as long as you can, meditate. But if you have rush, then of course you stop there, follow the dedication. See, look at this, see how much it takes time. It doesn't. Very short, but you can spend long time with this, meditate there. Relax, you see. This is the method we take to purify. Especially when you see, samsara, how it is so ingrained, all this confusion, all this pernicious grasping, attachment that people have, so, overwhelming. There's always this confusion, suffering. So seeing that nature, we do this practice here. Where you are, see, practice this, meditate on this. Within the session, do those practices. Then after the session, you carry on the practice in your daily life. You see, important thing is, you see, when these mental afflictions, they manifest our attachment, anger, they are so taking over us. But when you do this meditation, Now, where the attachment is nowhere. Where the aversion is nowhere. Where grasping ourselves, say me, where it is nowhere. So that shows if we practice this repeatedly, it's possible. We can realize one day, so we can achieve some of these practice. Nature, relaxation. So you see, that's why it's called adventitious obscuration. So this practice this meditation. This is a purification practice. So that's called meeting our mind and the Buddha's mind, uniting our mind and Buddha's mind. This method, you see, already our mind is Buddha's mind, but we have not revealed it. It's covered under the obscurations. So now we are uncovering that, revealing that mind. So this practice, you see. Make sense? So look at this, just meditate, relax. You'll get such a great benefit. Then you can see all other sentient beings who don't have this kind of method. Your compassion can rise greater, more powerful. Then you can see real nature of samsara more vividly. See, when we are within the samsara, we cannot see these things because we are within the samsara. We're just suffering along with others. But when you have this practice, and if you have done more practice on this, then you can see how much you got the benefit from this practice and how much they're suffering, people there who don't have these practices. You see, it's not discriminating, or it's not something prejudice, but your awareness, your wisdom become more powerful. That's where Buddha's did wisdom. It's mentioned earlier. When Buddha knows the samsara so powerfully, then Buddha is overwhelmed by the compassion, looking at the suffering of the sentient beings. So much. So Buddha has not any chance or, to just judging, discriminating, just give teachings and guiding us with this teaching with all different means, different methods. Doesn't have to be this the Buddha, but through many ways, many methods, Buddha manifest and taught these teachings. And now we have to also put our responsibility, practice, see. So one can meditate there as long as you want. Meditate. If you don't have, then next is the dedication, you see. Here said, rest in the mind as it is. So that's the Dharmakaya. That's what's called carrying the, brings the Dharmakaya onto the path. There's a meaning of the title and the actual practice that is. Okay? So I have to... Now dedication is through both the innate virtue that now our nature of the mind itself is pure. That's the absolute virtue, complete virtue. And the virtue accumulated in the 3 times by all in samsara and nirvana. So it's very inclusive. Buddhas, bodhisattvas, arahats, sentient beings, whoever created the virtue, past, present, future, bring together within in the mandala with the bodhicitta. There's a may I and all sentient beings feeling space, none left out. No one is left out. Everything's included. Realize the co-emergent ultimate realities, co-emergent, all the mental thoughts are within in the Mahamudra. There's no separation. So co-emergence, all the mental thoughts, activities are within in the emptiness. So that may realize in the ultimate Dharmakaya and attain the final state of non-abidance, neither nirvana nor samsara. No. Realizing samsara as nirvana itself in the existence of peace. No, beyond the existence samsara, peace, partial nirvana. So this is the short practice of Guru Yoga. Now it is profound, isn't it? It's brief, concise, has profound meaning. Oh. Now we need to actually chant this in Tibetan. See, just to record, we chant this in Tibetan, okay? Oh. First, now I was talking too much. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Okay. Gonja gundu la mai doro je jai chanju barado mende jazu jin tuna doge narawe rowanan mene sana gujre semgedo Gonjoy gundu lai mai doro je jai chanju barado mende jazoy chin tunai doge narawe rowanan mene zala gujre semgedo Gonjoy gundu la mai doro je jai chanju barado mende jazu jing tunai doge narawe rowanam mene sala gujre semgedo Omu airana jere zarawasi dehu Omu airana jere zarawasi dehu Omu airana jere zarawasi dehu Omu airana Saravai Siddhi Umoirana Shiri 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 Saravai Siddhi. Those who have time, they can continue chanting the mantra. And then next, receiving the blessing supplication. De dolore tranda maramenze ma wo chamba da da sha ya tu lo joy la de nyai me ri je be je de sung gue sha la solo wai de de lore chanda maramenze ma wo chamba da da sha jai tu lo doi lai de nyai me ri je be je de sung gue sha la so wai de lo re chen dai maramenze ma wo chang pa da da sha jai tu lo droi lai de nyai me ri je be je de song gue sham lai so wai de. Now next, receiving the empowerment and the dissolution. La me go son to le se tu ta ke ne shire de be te je dan wa she le do go she sa be tu la ma ran de me ran sem se do. And then dedication. Koronde de somo saye gezoje da da kanyama senje maileban da mailenje gebe de do den shishire mene Daraje Sado Jo. Okay, thank you. See, very short, you see. So we can practice this, as I mentioned, as much as you can. Take your time, and if you're busy and you have now all the opportunity that how you do and how long you want to do, you can spend hours on this practice, or you can, if you have no time, 15-20 minutes, you spend the time practice this. And if you do this practice, it will make real difference if you do this daily basis. And no doubt there will be benefit. Because these enlightened beings, their bodhicitta is towards us, to every sentient beings until the end of samsara. Okay. Now, do you have any questions? Need any clarifications?
Hello, Khenpo. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Clara.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Great, I'm so glad to see you.
Yes, really wonderful to see you. Yes, well, yes.
Thank you very, very much for your teaching. Thank you for your present.
Okay, yes. This is my present. This is my gift.
Yes.
My
That
offering.
is your gift.
Yes.
Great.
Rinpoche, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
In the visualization, are we visualizing Jigten Sumgun as we normally are used to seeing him in his robes and the hat, or are we visualizing him in the form of Vajradhara?
No, that himself is the Vajradhara. So no need to just look at him, just at the picture there, and do that accordingly.
Alrighty, thank you.
So.
Yes, Rinpoche?
Yes.
So when we're uniting with the Guru,
yes,
do you actually visualize the body of the Guru, or uniting with that, or just the light that's emanating?
The uniting is that the body is very temporary, you see. It comes and goes. This life, next life, next life. Body different. But your mind stream continues. Particularly your Buddha nature is unchanging. So this is how it means uniting your Buddha nature with the Buddha's mind.
Okay.
So what you are practicing, that receiving initiations, those are skillful method how to discard all those obscurations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we need is all those practices we do. What we need is we need to purify all those obscurations. And they are very impermanent. They are just illusory nature. But they are so ingrained with our habit. So that need to uproot that habit in order to reveal our Buddha nature. So this is the practice how we do that. Through this practice, then we can reveal our enlightened mind It's called Unite with the Buddha's Mind.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah.
Very helpful.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much for your lovely and most helpful teachings.
Yes, yes. Now today is we focus on is a practice. You see, we have been discussing. I've been talking too much last for a whole month and a half, 2 months. And now today is the way how to practice purifying, especially in a Vajrayana way. With all the skillful methods, with all this wisdom we're utilizing, you see, so that this deep-rooted propensity, the habit, which causes so much suffering, life after life, life after life, So now this is the way how to purify, uproot them, and now practice joyfully.
Bonnie?
Yes, Rinpoche. It's
Yes.
so wonderful. I love this Guru Yoga teaching, and I have been using it a lot the last few years. You taught this in Tucson in 2019. And the clarity today of hearing this teaching from you, it's almost, I can't begin to thank you. I am just so grateful for your teaching and your words, and you open our hearts every time you open your mouth. So thank you so much. It's wonderful to be able to sit and hear the teachings that you offer.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy, I'm really happy that you all are interested in the Dharma teachings and taking in the heart, really, not just intellectually, but really sincere in your practice. This way, it gives me really kind of strength. So I have to do more, I'm so grateful, you see. So Dharma teaching helps at today's day-to-day basis, and definitely it will help at the time of death. When we're dying, there are a lot of things around, but Dharma teaching will help us all the way. This life, at the time of death, next life, life after life. So there's no doubt about that. Thank you so much.
Khenchen.
Yes.
Khenchen
Yes, Julian, yes.
佢說這邊要俾
not that talk to you.
真的切 my question is
Okay.
when you're up, what is the highest best way to uproot your habits? Because you just said about uprooting the habits. What's the best way to uproot them and to get bodhicitta, to get into bodhicitta?
So to uproot our negative habit is, as mentioned a few times, is first you have to go to see the disadvantage of samsara. How many people are suffering? Rich or poor, educated, uneducated, there's no discrimination. The suffering is there so much, So look at that. That's a samsara. So when you are convinced about that, then you are not interested in other things except to discard the cause of that. And to discard the samsaric, so bodhicitta is the indispensable method. It's the consummate method to discard all these delusions. relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta. Okay?
Yeah, but I'm thinking of one's own afflicted emotions.
That's
habits.
what I'm saying. Yes, this is how
Oh,
you have to cultivate bodhicitta within you. There's no outside somewhere, you know.
right.
Within you, in our own mind, we have to cultivate, you see. So look at the suffering. Right now, I'm breathing. I'm so fortunate. I have this precious human life. And Buddha's teaching is there. So I'm so fortunate. So first you appreciate deeply, you know, not just intellectually. Just feel in the mind, I'm so fortunate. So now bodhicitta, I can see it. Buddha achieved Buddhahood because the bodhicitta, you know, there's no other way. It's the cause. It's not a Buddhism, you know. So I must. You just reinforce yourself. And then you cultivate in the mind. Even first time you may feel very intellectual, little artificial, but you have to start with that way.
Sure. And I guess I'm puzzled because when one is going into calming the afflicted emotions,
Yes.
because I think that is the hardest to be, because when you're interacting with other people and things, the afflicted, I mean, it's human habit for afflicted emotions to arise, you know. So, and it seems like no matter how much you practice, it comes up.
Yes, it is, because as mentioned, our afflicted emotions are deeply rooted, you see.
Right.
Deeply rooted. It's so prepared to manifest, ready to manifest as soon as there's conditions, you know.
Right.
When somebody shouts at you, the afflicted emotions just pops up, you know, without effort, you see.
Right.
It's so prepared, you know.
Not invited.
Yeah, it's so prepared and ready to manifest. No difficulties there.
Right.
You know, then our bodhicitta is so artificial. It's ready to go away, you know, ready to disappear, you know. So that's why we need to practice this, you know, in the daily basis.
But what is the strongest, highest way to practice it, to get calming the afflicted emotions?
First look at the disadvantage of the samsara. Yeah, this is very important. Keep that in the mind.
Okay.
That's why it's called renounce samsara. Doesn't mean don't eat food, don't wear clothes. Renounce samsara means look at the disadvantage of the samsara. It is the confusion, you know, and the suffering. Look at the suffering of the sentient beings. Then there you say, I have no other choice except to purify. And then I have the Buddha's teaching. I'm so fortunate. So this is how you have to go.
I see.
There is one question from one Vietnamese Sangha. Can I ask you?
Yes, where?
Vietnam.
There's one question from Vietnamese Sangha.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, someone asking that when you look at at the other people, they are more suffering than you. So that means she asking that is that in that case that the eyes will arise. Is that true? Yes, me, I, the ego.
No, I is just label. It's not something that exists as we perceive, as we believe, as we feel. our feeling, our perception is all artificial, not genuine. No, genuinely, I is not exist. So we have to realize or remind ourselves when our ego is becoming strong, powerful. So you are deluded. Okay, your delusion is coming, No. Okay. I should serve all the sentient beings instead of being egoistic.
Okay, I will always translate that. Thank you, Khenchen.
Yeah, yes.
Dear Khenchen, can I ask a question?
Yes, Alex.
Yes. In a sadhana where it says rest your mind as it is it referring not externally looking like shamatha meditation, but more like your mind looking towards your awareness, more like awareness looking at awareness type of a thing?
Yeah, at the first you may not get directly, because it's very profound. But without chasing your thoughts, you see, you should not chase your thoughts. I like this, I don't like this, this is the past, this is the future, without judgment, without chasing. It's just after you received and dissolved all into yourself and yourself into emptiness, and then just rest there as it is, means not chasing anything. You should not also see this is shamatha or not shamatha or awareness, without any of these first, just need to meditate on this.
Okay, thank you.
Elizabeth? Hello, Lama.
Yes.
Can I ask?
Martin.
Yes. I have some questions.
Oh, you have some questions?
Yes.
Okay, I wonder.
What's the difference between you, Jigten Sumgon, Milarepa? What's the difference?
The difference is that they are enlightened and we are not enlightened. So we are working to achieve enlightenment with their support.
But if you, Lama, and I see you like enlightened, yes, like Dharmakaya and Sambhagakaya and Nirmanakaya together. I asked you before about refuge on Lama. So can I meditate on Dharmakaya in you in your form? Because it's for me it's more alive. I don't see Milarepa, I don't see Jigten Sumgon, just images and stories, but you are real and I feel you and I have a devotion.
If you visualize a confused person, and you will be confused. And they are not confused. That's why when you choose their visualization, then you will achieve the unconfused mind. That's why we all recommend that, look at the unconfused enlightened being and then look at that and meditate. Like Buddha also, you can visualize Buddha. Then like Milarepa or then Jigten Sumgon, Kampupa, and they are such real, it's not, as I mentioned, I cannot express of their excellent qualities, you know. So it's better to those, you know, read their life stories. You should feel and read more their, like say, their teachings. Then you can see really their enlightened qualities.
But I see that you are just Dharma. You know, you don't have any personal qualities like I am or something, I don't know, something personal. You are just a Dharma cloud, and you are not confused because you are just a teaching of the reality nature. I don't see you like a person, you know.
So I'm trying.
Okay. Yes.
I'm trying, not so confused, but you don't know how much I'm confused.
Yes, okay. I can visualize you like a Manjushri, for example, if you want. Okay.
Yeah, I cannot recommend you visualize me, but I can recommend visualize Milarepa, Jigdesum or Kampupa, you know.
Okay.
Elizabeth? Rinpoche? Hi, I just I wanted to thank you so much and let you know how grateful I am.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank you so much for your teachings, all of your teachings, and all your blessings, and tell you how grateful I am to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really, as I mentioned, I'm really happy, you know, when people find, like yourself, some benefits, you know, and so how it is very good for our mind. That's why I try to share as much as I can, you know. So please continue and progress, develop yourself, and then try to help others.
Thank you, I will.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Munsel.
Yeah.
Munsel.
Thank you for the bodhicitta washing machine.
Yes, bodhicitta is a washing machine. Yes.
So if we cannot make it, we transfer to Guru washing machine.
Yes. So you keep your washing machine in your heart. Bodhicitta.
Very luminous. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes, that's good. Okay, now.
Cindy Chang is
to
the dedication. Cindy Chang.
By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience.
Go ahead. Yes, Cindy.
Oh, thank you. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. May every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all the sickness that afflicts the living be instantly and permanently healed. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samanta Bhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the 3 kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Jikumpa Ratnasri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Khenchen.
Yes, please get a good rest. Yes, Steve Morris. Wonderful. Yeah, please take care. Thank
Gracias,
you.
Rinpoche, from Guatemala.
Yes, Guatemala. Gracias. Yes.
Gracias.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Buenos.
Bonus.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes, Jenny. Yes.
Yeah, good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. You are too late now.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Wonderful. I'm so happy. Yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Jennifer. Yes.
So much.
Yes.
Rinpoche.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Everybody. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Very helpful.
Just be just kind. Be just, practice bodhicitta. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Love from all.
Okay.